Hi there, this is Snowcitytarot, and I'm here with a pick-a-card reading. So, today we're going to be talking about messages that you need to know now. So this is perfect for people that are going through some kind of tough time. Perhaps you might have something on your mind right now that's bothering you. This is going to help you address that. Just so you know, I only have 3 piles here today. And these are general readings, so that means that I'm going to be taking themes that everyone has in their current situation, similar themes, and I'm going to be directing them into a pile. So when you pick and you get this theme, just know that all of this may resonate with you, or just one card may resonate with you. It's entirely possible that none of them will resonate with you, and that's okay. So just be aware that if it doesn't match your situation, that's okay. If it doesn't, feel free to send a message in the comments and say, hey, can you do another one of these, because I wasn't in the video. So, and I'll be happy to do that. If there's enough people requesting more, then I'm happy to do that. So, just so you know, I do offer private readings. My details are in the description box below, as well as my rates. And if you're interested in that, you can call me, email me at snowcitytarot@gmail.com. So today I've got 3 piles. This is going to be pile 1, 2, and 3. So take a deep breath and think to yourself, ask your guides, your higher power, your angels, whoever it is that you believe in, or your higher self, whatever it is. Ask yourself what guidance is out there for you in regards to what's bothering you right now, and pick a pile. Okay, for those of you that picked pile 1, this is your spread. So, this topic, from what I'm seeing, as far as your problem goes, has to do, I think, most likely with a love relationship. I think that what I'm seeing here is like an issue having to do with inaction. So, what I have here is the current situation that you're dealing with, the problem at hand. And I have the Knight of Pentacles, I have the the Page of Cups, and I have the 3 of Wands. So I do see that there's some sort of issue in regards to possibly planning or kind of waiting for things to happen. The Knight of Cups is not a very, Knight of Pentacles is not a very, he's not a very fast-moving guy. And he's not really quick to jump for something that he wants. He kind of believes in the slow and steady approach, and eventually he'll get to his goal and things will be fine. However, I think that this is not really based in a slow and steady approach in the sense that you're waiting for the right time. You might be telling yourself that you're waiting for the right time, but I think it really comes out for it really comes out with the 5 of Pentacles here as the clarifier, showing that there's an issue with not feeling good enough, or not having enough, or not, being able to provide whatever it is that this person might want or need. You just don't feel like you have it. With the 3 of Wands, it talks about having, making that plan. And you keep telling yourself, oh, I'm going to make that plan. Everything's going to be great. I'm going to have the success that I want out of this, and I'm going to plan, and I'm going to be very thorough, and I'm going to make all the right choices and do everything correctly. But nothing is happening, or perhaps it's taking too slow. It's maybe you don't have patience for yourself, even. Like, you're just like, oh, I just want things to move and do this and that, but you're not even, I think at this point you might be just growing impatient with yourself as well. And I think there's a lot of this that has to do with fear. I think this is the person that you're talking about, that you're thinking about, this other person, because I do have 3 court cards here, so this could indicate a person that you're talking about. And that's why I'm thinking, and I'm pretty sure, especially with Lavari, that this has to do with a love relationship. So I've got the Page of Cups. So this is somebody that either you want to be the Page of Cups, or this other person is the Page of Cups. They could be younger than you, more naive than you, or just maybe inexperienced. But if it is you, there is, and I feel like it kind of serves the same purpose for both of you in this. I think that it's both of you, because I think there's a lot of nerves behind having the confidence to do these things, because what you want to deliver is something that's very emotionally leaves you very emotionally vulnerable. It kind of, you know, takes away your power a little bit to do this. And maybe that's why you're waiting. You might be saying, oh, I'll wait until I have all the things I need. I have all the confidence that I need. I'll wait until I have enough money, or I'll wait until I have an escape plan, or, you know, you might have, you know, might be thinking that you need a safety net in place before you do whatever it is you want to do, so that if it all falls apart, you can, like, run away. You know, like, for instance, like, maybe you want to ask someone out, they go to your school, but, like, they go to college, or they work at your place, and it's like, okay, I'm going to do this, but I want to make sure that if this, like, blows up in my face, I can transfer. Or if this blows up in my face, I can go to a different job. I can move out. I can move to a different country. I can leave. Like, I really feel like you're waiting for that sort of situation, to everything to be perfect. And I think that's what's holding you back and what's making this situation sort of stagnate. Because I do have these cards here I pulled just to kind of clarify, because I was like, I just want to make sure this is what I'm looking at here. And I got the man card for the Lenormand, the man card. I got the lilies, and I have the clover. So this could be involving, for some of you, a older male. If not, that's okay. It could be a female with older energy or more mature energy, or somebody who might be wiser than you. Or this could be you being the wiser person. And it's just signifying that this is the risk that you have to take. So this is just kind of further clarifying the situation that I see here with the clover card, because the clover is a wonderful little thing. It's not just luck and all that, but it's not just you know, fortune and lucky things happening to you. It's a gamble and a risk at the same time as being very fortunate and happy. So it's saying that, you know, this situation could be surrounding, you know, a situation where you're feeling like you need to be very careful and make very wise decisions, because this is a very nice thing that you want, but it's also a huge gamble for you. So you're not really sure if it's worth the risk, is what I'm seeing here. And I think that is possibly why I'm seeing this very careful knight, this very slow moving knight, just kind of puttering along on his slow ass horse, trying to make the right decision, but at the same time trying to make it look like things are still happening. But you know, it's like you're trying to keep their attention, maybe, while you are trying to sort things out, maybe. Because I do have a very passionate person here with this King of Wands. So the person in your mind could be some sort of fire sign, but they could also just be somebody who has a great personality, somebody who has a lot of energy, somebody who's like possibly very charismatic, but they might not have the attention span that you have with this Knight of Pentacles. So it's like you might be trying to keep this person occupied because you have this very slow and steady approach, but I think that maybe this person, you see this king's kind of going this way, this person may not have the attention span to stick around for you to figure it what it is that you want out. So what it's saying here with passion is the card that you have here for one of your oracles for advice. And what this is saying is you keep putting this off. You keep putting whatever this is off and waiting, and you're just like waiting for the best, most opportune time. But it's slowing you down, and honestly, you may lose whatever it is that you're going for. Now, just so you know, I feel like for a lot of you, this could also have to do with something that isn't love related at all. This could just be a goal that you've been, or some sort of thing that you've been, you know, interested in for a long time. So if this doesn't sound like that situation as far as love goes, it could just be anything, an investment in anything that you like, anything that you want to do, a goal for life. Maybe you want to buy a house, something like that, and you just keep putting it off, waiting for that most opportune time, even though this is the thing that you really desire, the thing that you really, really want. So it's showing me that you need to give yourself permission to have this. You need to stop putting it off and tell yourself that whatever it is that you're waiting for, you know, it's not worth the time that you're losing waiting for it. You could be enjoying whatever it is that's here that you want so badly but instead you're just waiting and waiting for the thing. It's like it's a waste of time. You're frittering away your time on worries and micromanaging and nitpicking and trying to make everything perfect, that you may never even enjoy the whole thing that you've been working towards in the first place. I mean, maybe you didn't consider that. So you've got trust as well here. And it says, I accept that my inner voice will always give me the correct, or will always guide me correctly. And that's about going, and I was asking, like, well, okay, it's about the inner voice, but what do you need to listen to the inner voice about? What aren't you listening to the inner voice about? And it's about going and pursuing what it is that you want. So that's very clearly what this is. It's the pursuit. Like, in your gut, you know what you want. You know you want this thing. But like I said, you're not moving. You're not moving forward, and you need to trust your gut instinct that now is actually the perfect time. Now is fine. But you need to get out of this state, this headspace. You also have Lavaria, and I apologize if you guys hear this. We have a huge snowstorm right now, so there's probably that guy outside is using the snowblower, so I apologize if that's distracting. But basically, this is saying, Lavaria, it's mostly talking about love relationships, but it can also talk about, you could apply this for anything that you want, anything that you really want to go towards. But what's saying is that you are hanging on to what you think love should be, or what you think the situation should be. And you need to change your concept of what exactly that is. Maybe for some of you that want a house or something, or want to move or go on a trip, you need to maybe analyze what it is that you want and why you want it, and kind of get a different perspective on it. Because you might be asking too much of yourself. You might be asking too much of the person that you're interested in. It could be that you have to change your concept of what love is. What does it look like? What are your current standards? Are they reasonable? You need to ask yourself these questions. So if this is another person, though, like, if it is love, then you need to understand that the person that you're interested in may not meet all your expectations, but that's because they're human. You have to realize that if you've got this steady, attention to detail, this sort of machine-like way of operating, other people might not be like that. Other people don't operate like that. We all have different minds, and we all have different ways that we process information and different ways that we experience emotion. And this person may not be like that. And you need to accept that. It doesn't mean that they're not good for you or you're not good for them. It's just if you are predicting what this person wants or expects from you or how they love, you're not going to really know that until you really get to know them. I don't think that there's anything that you can really plan for when it comes to a relationship. You just jump in. You just jump in and experience it. You can't calculate for everything. You can't have a little checkbox for everything. I feel like you're a type A personality where all your decisions have to be pre-calculated, pre-analyzed and invested, and that's just not how life works. That's not how love works. That's not how anything really works. Even the most pre-calculated things in this world are still going to be subject to roaming free radicals, things that are just going to come and just mess everything up. It's just what's going to happen. So you really can't predict everything in this situation. And the more time you waste on it, the more time you rob from yourself. You are robbing yourself by not pursuing whatever it is that you want. So, yes. So basically, what the advice here is, you need to rethink what love is. You have to rethink what it is that you want. And if it is love, you need to rethink how it is that you express it. And basically, if you want somebody to be loving and kind to you, you have to give back and be loving and kind to them. So if you are finding that that you're investing all this nitpicking energy, and you're not getting what you want, it's because you're investing the wrong type of energy, nitpicking energy. And even if you're not doing it towards this person, but you're doing it towards yourself, it's just you're attracting criticism. You're attracting all this negative energy of criticism and nitpicking and this expectation of perfection. So it's like, if you even want this person to come to you, they may think this about themselves. They may not come to you because you don't seem very relaxed. You might seem like somebody that is over analytical, somebody that is over analyzing them, so that might make this person want to step back a little bit too. If you're waiting for them to come to you, you might be putting up a front that you're not very flexible. So that is your advice. Open up, let your hair down, realize that life is a journey, and the whole point of being alive is to experience mistakes and experience sorrow, but to also experience great joy and great love and all those things. And you can't do those things without taking a risk. So that is your advice, group 1. And I hope that this resonates with you. If this does help you, I offer... well, thank you. Well, first of all, you don't need me. But if this does help you, please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think. Hit the bell notification if you want to see further updates. If you kind of like this but not sure about whether or not this is for you or anything like that, I do private readings, very small ones, to like about, like 1 question to 4 questions a piece there, and the rates are really easy, really, really low. So if you want to get something that's more specific to you without all this other people energy in it, you can see the details of that in my description box, and you can email me at snowcitytarot@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. Hi, group 2. So, this is your reading, and this is what I have here for you. I've got the 6 of Wands, the 8 of Swords, the 10 of Wands. I have the Hangman as your overarching energy of these 3 cards. I've got love, minimus, and success and guilt. So, what I'm seeing here is overall there's a sense of lack of faith in self. So I see that something good has possibly come your way, and it's like, yay, hooray, success, I have the thing that I want. I've got the thing I've been striving for, and now I have everyone looking at me, and all this responsibility, and all these things I didn't expect to be there when I originally wanted the thing that I have. And it's possible that there could be some other aspects here besides, this feeling that maybe you're not able to do the thing that you got, or maybe you're not able to handle the thing that it is that you've acquired that you wanted so badly. It does appear, though, with guilt here, it could be suggesting that this might have happened at the cost of someone else. And that's something that we have to consider here. That is possible that's why this card is here and you're feeling overburdened. So it's either you might have stepped on a few heads to get something that you want. So if it's a love relationship, maybe you had to take it from someone else. If it's a job, maybe you had to, piggyback on a friend and then ditch them at the last second to take the finish line here to something. There's some sense of guilt when it comes to whatever success this is here. Now, if you didn't somehow kind of swindle somebody out of something, it's possible that you have this sense of guilt that whatever it is that you have, you can't live up to, and now you feel terrible. You might have bitten off more than you can chew, and I see that with the 10 of Wands here. This is somebody that was so dead set on the goal and the journey, or on the journey, that they didn't notice that by the end of it, they may not have come out with the thing that they thought that they wanted. Especially with this here, because with the Hanged Man, it's a card that's talking about torment. It's a card that talks about being stuck in a situation, and you see it from a whole new light now, and now you're kind of like, oh, I don't know. Now, alternately, this could also be a card of the traitor. The original Italian version of the tarot shows that hanging from the foot is usually an execution given to people in those times for people that are betraying, that have betrayed somebody, or a traitor to the government or something like that. So this could be saying that you might be living out a punishment that you gave to yourself. Perhaps maybe you were striving so hard for this thing that you wanted that now you are really wondering, what did I get myself into? Was this worth the risk? You know, and it's like now you've got quite a bit of time to think. You could be alone now, you could have less friends, and now, you know, you might be really, it might be really hitting home what you put at risk here. Excuse my cough. So, what I have here is love. So this is this card, and it's basically discussing, saying that you need to love yourself, and that means to do what is best for yourself. So loving yourself, eating well, doing things to yourself because you love yourself, giving yourself peace of mind, sleeping well, and releasing guilt that weighs you down. I think at this stage the damage has been done, and right now we need to try to figure out how to get your mind straight. That's kind of what you need right now, is to get your mind straight about whatever it is that you have now, whatever it is that you did maybe to get it. So that's what I'm seeing with these cards. So with love here, and this guilt card here, it's saying that if you're harboring any guilt, you need to let that go. You need to, you know, just do your very best at where you're at now. And part of doing your best is taking care of yourself. And part of taking care of yourself is taking care of your mind. So, and that's when guilt comes in here. So basically, guilt helps us up to a point. Once the change has been made, the regrets are there. And say you apologize, even if it's not taken, or if you know, and if this person doesn't apologize, at least you're kind of like, you realize what you did was wrong. You got to let it go. Once you've done that, you have to let it go. So the source of the guilt needs to be let go. Acknowledge that it happened. Acknowledge that it shouldn't happen again. And just move on from it. Because holding on to it will lead to a lack of self-love, a lack of happiness, which honestly leads to more behavior that leads to unhappiness, so either for yourself or for other people. So that's why it's important to let guilt go. You don't need to beat yourself up for ages and ages and ages. Just don't do it again. That's really all you can do. That's all you can do to you know, satisfy the guilt, is to make the change. So after you've made the change, there's no point in hanging on to it. And it might feel good, and it might feel like closure if you feel like you're being properly punished, but it really doesn't help you. So I also have minimus. So this, remember how I said it's like you might be surrounded, you might be at home alone, like if you had to sacrifice friends for this or something, or step on heads, you might have less people around. Well, this kind of goes into that. So it's like if you're around too many people, this card talks about retreating. And by the way, this card is called Minimus, and it says commune with the source. So if you're alone, seek out other people. If you're around too many people, you need to retreat. Whatever it is, I feel like there is a perspective that you need to get from other people, or get a new perspective from being alone. But whatever it is that you have here, whether you intend to keep it or not, you may just want to keep it, or you may just want to dump it behind you and then just kind of move on with your life. Whatever it is, it seems to be a burden. So what this tells me is that you need to go back and rediscover who you are. Who are you? Who were you before everything started to weigh you down? What type of person were you? What type of goals did you have? What type of person did you want to be before life just lifed all over you? Because it could be that you've done these things or achieved these things because you had your eye on the prize for so long that you kind of lost track of yourself along the way. And this is asking you to get out and kind of re-explore yourself. Try to find yourself again. Who were you? Who are you? And you can still be that person. You may have made mistakes because you lost who it is that you were. But that, like I said, you can just go back to the way you were. There's nothing saying that you have to stay the person that you became. if you want to be who you used to be because you were happier, or you had more friends, or you were more successful, if they were happier times, and you didn't feel like you were hurting people, there's no reason to go back to that. It's your life. You can do whatever you want. You can be whoever you want. So success is also here. And this says, I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So this is saying, this is a gentle reminder, because something may have happened that you may have been responsible for. But what this is saying is that you need to realize that you need to redefine your success, or what success is. It seems like, having it all, or having a certain image, or having a certain lifestyle, keeping up with the Joneses, that might be your goal right now, or the goal that you think that you should have, but it is not going to be serving you in the end. The really the only thing that success is, it's not about what you have, it's about how you make people feel. Because at the end of the day, you can't take all of these things with you. You can only take the good that you've done, right? There's a phrase, it's saying that it's easier, It's easier to, fit a camel through the eye of a needle than to have let a rich man into heaven. And what's interesting about that is it's saying that, you only take what you can only take what you've done, the good merit you've earned in your life. You can only take that with you. And what's interesting about that quote is that there is a place, I can't remember, I think it might be in Jerusalem, where there was a place called the Eye of the Needle, where the merchants with all of their things had to walk through this Eye of the Needle, this tiny door. It's a tiny little gateway to get into the city. But in order for them to get through it, they could only fit their camel. They had to take all of the things that they carried with them, all their merchandise, all their money, and they had to take it out and go through that tiny little door separately. And it just kind of represents, leaving this life with good deeds only. You don't need to take all those things with you through the eye of the needle. You can just leave them out there, because ultimately the good that you do, the feelings that you generate in other people, the happiness that you create, is the only thing that's going to be coming with you in the end. So that is just some things to consider. Have faith in yourself. Don't hold yourself to any guilt. Don't ruminate on it. At this point, it's what you did. You can apologize and make it right. You can do something for that person to apologize for that. Or you can just, if they won't accept an apology, just forgive yourself and kind of move on and strive to be a better person from there. But don't be hanging on to any of this guilt for ages and ages. It's not beneficial to yourself or anyone else around you. So that was your reading, group 2. Please let me know if that resonates with you. If it, excuse me, if you liked my reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you would like a private reading with me, you can find my details in the description box below. And I hope to see you in the next one. Hi, Group 3. This is your reading. So, Group 3. I have to say, we're doing some shadow work today, but that's okay. You guys may not be aware that we're doing shadow work today, but I really hope that this will end up helping you solve your problem, because I do see that, this sort of thing is bothering you pretty greatly. So, what I'm seeing here, and you actually may resonate a little bit with pile 2 as well, because I do see some similar themes. So you might have some advice in there that you could also gather for this situation. So if you were having difficulty choosing between 2 and 3, that's probably why. There was probably a little bit of you in each of those piles. So the 10 of Wands is what we have here for your situation. 10 of Wands, the 6 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Wands. what do I see here? So I kind of feel like you're one of those people who kind of takes the reins in life. You might be somebody who's on top of things for other people. And I feel like you do it out of a good place. I think that you really do. I think that you, though, need to consider, boundaries for yourself. Because I do see that it appears like something has happened and you've basically overburdened with taking on too many things. We have somebody could be possibly acting out here against either your advice or they might be like acting out against you. You could be a parent in some cases, and you could be having an issue with your child right now. I have the Princess of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the Seven of Swords. And I feel like you may have caught somebody red-handed, sneaking around, doing something that they weren't supposed to do, or they could be going out and doing something that you told them wouldn't be a good idea, or something going against their, something that could be going against your will. And now you're having to deal with the frustration of dealing with this person. And you're probably thinking, oh, what do I do about making them see it my way? What do I do about making them do, this or that, or, act this or that way? And you're approaching it from the wrong perspective. And I think that you're going to be finding a lot more pushback if you continue to do that. Because I see from your perspective, you're like, I labor so hard for you. I give you all my damn money. And all you do is give me all these problems with the Seven of Wands. Like, you're too much to handle. And how the heck do I get this person to do what it is that I want them to do? Act the way that I want them to act. Live the life that I want them to live. Because I know what's best for them. And that's what I see here, is somebody who knows what's best for other people. And in a lot of cases, you probably do. You probably have the experience that is needed to have these expectations for people, or to have this guidance or wisdom that you give to people. But you have to understand that everybody has to live their own life. They have to make their own mistakes. Sometimes we don't want to see people fall into oblivion, but sometimes that is the row they have to hoe, the row they have to hoe. It's you got to let people make their mistakes. That is their life story. You can't protect them from everything. And I know that as much as you want to try, some people don't learn that way. There's a lot of people, and I study astrology as well, and there's a lot of aspects in charts that shows that some people just can't learn unless they do it the hard way. You could tell them, everything you could possibly tell them, but in the end, they're just simply not going to believe it until they see it for themselves. These people are explorers. They're people that are pioneers. But they're people that sometimes get themselves into trouble, get themselves out, and then have to tell other people about it. They can help more people by experiencing hardships themselves, which you might actually be a very similar person. You might have already done that. You might have done things the hard way, and that's why you're telling these people, hey, you shouldn't do it this way, because in my experience, and this person's like, yeah, yada, yada, yada. Like, you guys are probably cut from the same cloth, really. But I think that you might have more experience in life than them, or they may be a friend of yours, perhaps, that just, you've been through something similar. Even if you're the same age as this person is doing something that you might know better about, and they're just, sneaking around you to avoid talking to you about it. It's like they're doing whatever it is that you told them not to do, and they're hiding it from you. It's possible in some cases somebody may have gotten something or some opportunity, and they're like, hey, I'm going to go and do a multi-level marketing campaign. It's a great idea. And you're like, hey, no. And then you really shouldn't do that because you're going to lose all your money. It's a terrible idea. And then they go and they do it anyway, and then they don't tell you about it. And then suddenly you're being invited to their Tupperware parties or their Arbonne parties. And you're like, oh my God, how can I save you from yourself? That's really good, I get here. But you got to let them do it. And that's where these cards come in. Basically, this card says choice, and what's interesting is choice and forgiveness in these. Forgiveness is kind of weird, but it actually talks about forgiving people because they have free will. and choice is about free will. So it's saying everybody has free will, and you can't control it. You can't control them. And you also have free will as well. So this does tie into you, because the more that you try to control people, the more you try to do, kind of, I don't know how to describe this. Hang on. Basically, you also have free will, and your current situation also expresses that. And you need to ask yourself, what has it brought you? And this is going to be telling you to inspire your own change, because your current choices are to micromanage, maybe even manipulate certain people. You're a taskmaster in some cases for some people. If you're a parent, maybe you're too overbearing, but that is your choice. And what is it bringing you? Is it bringing you bad relationships? Is it bringing you heartache? Is it making you stressed? Is it making you unhappy? This is your choice to change it. Your choice is to accept that other people have to make their mistakes. Your choice is to accept that, and you don't have to choose it, but what's it brought you? You didn't choose that before, and now you're here, and you're wondering why. So you basically, your advice from guides is to let people make their mistakes, let people have their free will. So basically, the advice is to stop micromanaging. And if you stop micromanaging, you'll be happier, because you won't have created a situation to go wrong. Micromanagement is what you've set up, and you don't want to be, and basically now you're upset about people being upset about being micromanaged. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like you've kind of created this situation, even though it was out of the goodness of your own heart. But the big thing with this card here is the quote always comes to me, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That is this card in a nutshell with the Ten of Wands. You have put all this time and effort and money and energy, or whatever it is that you put into this person, and now you're left with a wad of problems. And that is a choice you could have chosen against. So with forgiveness, though, it's, like I said, talking about free will. And with this one ties into these ones, basically. And I think for some of you, effervescence is here. I feel like effervescence is an offshoot for some of you. If this is not a parent situation or a child situation or a friend situation. This is for the people that are here for possibly a romantic partner, this effervescence here. So if this is love related, you might feel disillusioned or lonely right now. Maybe this person has stopped talking to you or walked away. But you need to let them be and try to cultivate love in other things. Try to put your focus into other things while this person's off doing their own personal life quest of screwing things up. And you just need to focus on other things. Cultivate love in other things, because for things to change, you have to not watch it. And that's the only way you're going to get through a tough time like this, where you're waiting for someone to make a mistake and run back. You're going to have to not watch it. And that's where opulence comes in as well. So opulence is about leading, being a fair leader. And that's why I think this has a lot to do with being, the dominant friend or the parent or somebody like that, or even a boss in some cases. Opulence is talking about being a fair leader, being a respectable leader, doing the right thing for everybody, which is where I think you're at. It's just you're heavy-handed. You're not really letting up on it. Basically what this is saying is let others make their mistakes. Be open to them when they, open up to them when they come back saying, oh my God, I made the mistake and you were totally right. Don't come back to them and say, well, I told you so. If you just listen to me from forever and ever and ever, and even when I'm dead in the ground, if you just listen to me, then, don't say that, because, that's not really helpful. And especially when you say, well, if you just listen to me, that kind of discourages people from learning to make their own, solve their own problems. You know what I mean? Like, especially if it's a child, it's like, well, if you just done what I said, well, you're not going to be there the whole time. You're not going to be there forever. you have to accept that if this person doesn't make the problem-solving skills, if they don't create those problem-solving skills, they're not going to have anybody to do it for them once you pass on. So by letting them make these mistakes and letting them think for themselves and make decisions for themselves, they create new opportunities to learn how to solve problems. And that's the biggest thing you can teach anybody is how to get yourself out of trouble, how to get yourself in trouble, and how to get yourself out of trouble. So oftentimes people forget to teach people how to get out of trouble. They only teach them how they get into it, but they don't teach you how you get out of it. They just say, don't do that, you'll get in trouble. They don't say, okay, and then when that happens, if that happens, this is how you fix it. So, you know, like I learned to kayak, right? My dad is very big into kayak, and I did like a whitewater training class, and they put me in the boat, and they lock you into it with like this thing called a skirt to keep the water out. It's for whitewater, and when they taught you how to roll the boat, and then they taught you how to get out of the boat while you're underwater, and how to properly get out of it, and then get back into the boat, and that's kind of what you need to do. You know, you need to teach them that. So when this person comes back with their problems, they come crying to you in some cases, you need to be like, okay, well, let's figure out how we can get you out of this problem. That is what a good leader does. That is what a good parent does. So you have to look at it that way. And also, here's the other thing. If they come back and they're like, it all worked out, everything's great, you also need to have that leadership ability to find happiness in their success, even though they were right and you were wrong. And that is the hardest thing sometimes for us to do, is like, wow, they were right the whole time and I've just been here bitching. You need to sometimes just embrace that and say, hey, you're still learning too. You can make a mistake as well. And you know, and by coming here, you've learned how to get out of it, you know. So you might have made the mistake and maybe made some difficulties here with this person, but you came here and you learned how to get out of it. So, or learned how to do a better job next time. And that's really all you can do in life, is just do better next time. So that is your reading. This person will be, you both will be happy if you respect this person's need for exploration, and if you can just kind of let go of that need to control, but still be sort of distance guidance, you know, or that safe place to come back to. You know, if you don't want this person running to the wrong place, if they don't feel welcome with you, you don't want them to run to the wrong place when they need help. If this backfires, you want them to come to you. All right, so thank you for watching Group 3. I hope this resonated with you. Please let me know if it did. If it did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested with interested in a private reading with me, my details are in the description box below, and you can contact me at snowcitytarot@gmail.com. I want to thank you all for watching, all of you who've subscribed and commented, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye now.